That was a tough season for the men. There's no question. And they finished 5th last year, and there was a lot of talk about what they could achieve this year. I'm the new kid on the block. I wasn't sure, but as soon as we went to the Ivy scrimmage, you get a bit of a better idea. My goal as a coach was to not slip further than the 5th spot. And yes, do we have a chance of getting higher? I felt so, but I wanted to keep fairly realistic. They worked very hard, they trained very hard, but we really didn't hit our stride until after our away match with Cornell. And that was definitely the low point of the season. And it wasn't just the low point from the result. I think we lost that one 6-3. But it was the way we lost. And some of those young men had to look inside themselves because it was not their best day. Immediately after, on that trip, was away at Cornell, and the next day we played Rochester. We lost to Rochester 9-0, and I felt that a reasonable score would have been 7-2, maybe even 6-3, because every match bar except for one was at least 90 minutes long, which meant we were right in there. But the attitude had changed overnight. So they got a little bit of a chat from the coach, and I know Reed and Drayson, the captain, did his bit, and that was the change. Despite that score, that really got us on track. And I think maybe it was whether they felt they were embarrassed at losing to Cornell, who there's nothing to be embarrassed about. They're a very, very strong team, very well coached team. But again, it was that performance, and then that spurred us on, and we built from that moment. So after the Christmas break, when we came back as a team, the team went up to Toronto to train, and at the end of that week's training, we played Western University from Ontario, another very strong team. And again, the guys stepped up, but this time the scoreline, I believe, was 8-1, and it really, really showed through. And some of the guys, especially the captain, really showed his mettle, and that set us on track for the rest of the season. He grew into this position, and again, I think the turning point for him was that Cornell match as a captain. And by the time we came back after Christmas, he had really hit his stride as a player. So he was playing 5 on the team, and then he just started knocking people off above him. He even beat our number 1 in a challenge match. He beat Gary Power, and we had to, make a real decision. What are we doing with this kid? We put him at number 2, and he was at number 2. He deserved it. He held on to it for the rest of the season. And boy, as a captain, wow, he was fantastic. Gary Power, it's no question at all, he's right in the mix with the best players. So he is, could he win that overall title in the next 3 years? Yes, he could. He's got a few things to work on in his game, but the one thing about Gary, he's an extraordinary athlete. He is naturally fit. He's got a ridiculous work ethic, and he's a gutsy bugger. The other guy to mention, without question, was Tommy Mullaney. We dissected his game. We said, Tommy, this is what you're good at. This is what you've got to maintain, nurture. These are where the holes are. Here's the program. Let's get on with it. And he just took it, and it was almost comical. In some weeks, you could almost watch him improve on a weekly basis. And there were matches where he would be down, and he chatted to him between games. And there were sometimes I felt he didn't think he could win, but he stuck with the program, or stuck with his plan rather, and he got the result. And his belief grew through the season. But he was very methodical. Alex Marr deserves a mention because of the last match of the season against Cornell. So we've lost to Cornell, We're now ranked 6th, and we meet them, of course, in the team championships. And we've lost the first 3 matches. So in the matches we're 0-3. The next 3 guys are on. I think we were love 2 down in 2 matches, maybe 3. And Alex was one of them. The guy claws his way back. It was a ridiculously exciting match. And I'd seen it before from him. And here he was, everything's on the line. And he and Reed come through and just get a remarkable result for us. And that really is what salvaged the season for the men's team. I know that Reed couldn't have felt prouder as a captain, and I think the team really felt that they salvaged something for themselves and proved their mettle, proved that sort of depth, that courage, that determination, and to do it on the last day, the last match, tremendous. He, again, like Alicia, uncomplaining, got on with it, and was very, very supportive as a non-playing team member. Came down every day, did whatever he could, went to the trainers, but it was at the matches that he really sort of showed the coaches that he's going to be a great captain, because during every single match he was there, not just supporting. He's a very insightful observer of our game, and I've had 100% trust in him as saying, "Hey Jason, take care of this match." Didn't have to question. I would touch base with him between games. He was so intelligent on his observations and how to communicate. So leadership skills tremendous. And halfway through the season, Will stepped up. He was on the cusp of the team, and then we realized, he had an epic match down. I think it was Princeton in the second half, and he stepped up there. He got his fitness level up to. He was probably, if he wasn't the fittest guy on the team, he was as fit as anyone on the team. And so he led by this example. The team has got some injuries. I'm going to get myself fitter. I'm stepping into this, and he did. And he played some fantastic squash. And again, through this, just by example, I think that Will and Jason will be terrific captains next year.